Hi there, I'm here with Ben Metcalfe, co-founder of WP Engine.
Hi.
Hello, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. What a wonderful booth.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's very bright lights. It's awesome.
Oh, well, it's for the audience,
Yes.
Ben. It's for the audience.
And you've definitely guaranteed the soft focus for my...
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Guaranteed 100%. So, WP Engine is, a service that's kind of come onto the market and has grown really quickly over the last couple of years. So why don't you tell the audience, what is WP Engine?
Sure. So we're one of a new breed of essentially web hosts. We're a managed WordPress hosting platform. And that's a very long mouthful. What does that mean?
Yep.
What that means is essentially we only support WordPress.
Okay.
We're not a traditional hosting account. There's no logging in, setting up WordPress, MySQL databases. You point a domain at our IP address and we provide you with an instance of WordPress that's running on our platform.
Oh.
And because we're doing that, because we're setting that up automatically provisioned, we can immediately make sure that it's set up in a way that's most optimum in terms of speed, security, and overall performance and scalability.
Yep.
So that works from small little mom and pop shops or bloggers who don't want to have to worry about the technical stuff, all the way through to big companies like Gap, VMware, William Sonoma, HTC, big companies that need huge scale and don't want to be worrying about WordPress. So we keep it backed up to date, because of course in the WordPress world, if you don't keep it up to date, things can happen. So we do all of that. And so there's a number of other companies in the market that are doing it. We're a little sort of new family of companies that are doing this. So yeah.
And so is it just for WordPress?
Just WordPress, that's all we do.
Okay.
And because of that, everyone on house and on the team are WordPress experts.
Yes.
We can be looking out for WordPress specific vulnerabilities, things like that. And then we try and sort of contribute back to the WordPress community as well, because we're so WordPress focused.
That's great. So what are some of the sort of things that you would contribute back to the WordPress community?
So we're here in Boston,
Okay.
and I'm actually not here for HostingCon. I actually came out here because we had WordCamp Boston at Boston University. We also had WordCamp Columbus, Ohio last weekend as well.
Okay.
So at both events we sponsored, put some money in to make the event viable, so local people can come in and find local speakers and also national speakers talking about WordPress to make the events happen. We also turn up and offer free accounts, offer advice, and we do that as an ongoing program throughout the year. It's just something that we feel is important because we're using an open source product, and there's a wonderful community out there that we just want to put something back into it. I think it's something that we feel very important.
Yes. And so, like you said, you've grown a lot. You have both these small customers and big customers like Gap, William Sonoma.
Right.
That's amazing. How does somebody like William Sonoma or Gap find out about WP Engine?
That's really interesting because we don't do a great deal of advertising.
Okay.
I think a lot of companies that use WordPress, even bigger companies, are now realizing that this community is not just for small-time bloggers. It's beneficial for everyone, and often they'll jump into the community as well. Someone from the marketing team maybe, or someone in IT who doesn't actually want to have to look after all this stuff, will jump in, will turn up to an event, hear about us, and of course there's other vendors out there and whatever. And it's great because they want to be, the community wants to encompass them and welcome them, but then by being present, obviously we get an opportunity to pitch ourselves and hopefully we win that business.
And then by providing a great service, you keep that business.
Yeah.
So.
But we also found, we work at the corporate level, we also find that lots of companies talk to each other.
Right.
And maybe Gap isn't going to talk to their rival, but they might talk to a marketing executive or a decision maker at a completely different company. So yeah.
That's excellent. So when you look ahead to next year, what are some of the things that you're really excited about that you're like, in terms of this is what we want to make happen at WP Engine?
We just want to keep growing the business.
Okay.
We want to do more, bring the power and benefit of WordPress and open source to more bigger companies, but also enable more people from at the kind of smaller levels. Anything we can do to get more WP Engine into the hands of more people.
Yes.
Is definitely very important to us. This month is 2 years of being live to the public, and it's been a pretty quick, rapid pace of growth. So we also want to make sure that we're geared up for the next 2 or 3 years, which is totally fine. It's just a case of making sure that we're got everything covered. We got enough good growth of staff. All that stuff. It's not that interesting, but if you're a customer or a potential customer, you're expecting us to be able to mature as well as they do with us.
Of course, yeah, no, I think that's really
I
important.
mean, how long have you guys been around?
We've been around for 3 years.
So you must be having similar kinds of things.
Exactly, especially when you grow really quickly. Like you said, sometimes you need to check in and reevaluate and make sure that you kind of level set so you can prepare for the next level of growth.
Yeah, so you still need to be shipping features. It's a competitive landscape out there.
Yes.
But what you sometimes find with companies is they'll just expand too quickly and then suddenly deflate because they couldn't maintain it. Like I said, I'm very confident we're not going to have that, but we need to do what we need to do in order to get there.
Yeah, someone once told me, someone who had done several startups, they said, or ran different companies, they're like, it's one thing to build a service, then get customers, but what often happens after you get customers is you lose customers because you haven't done all these sorts of proper investments. So you want to make sure when you get the customers that you keep them, that you're delivering on your promise of why they came to you in the first place. Yep. And so I think that's really important.
And there's lots of things out there in the market we need to keep ahead of. I mean, we've taken a very early stake on SSD drives for our premium customers.
Okay.
We think that's a really useful thing. It's great for performance, for running all of your database off an SSD drive.
And reliability, too.
And reliability. There's just loads of great reasons to do that. And we're very lucky. We're a premium service. We don't compete on price, so we've then got the resources to do that.
Right.
But what else is going to come up next? And these things are in the market right now could suddenly become either established very quickly, or at least we have the opportunity to use them as a competitive advantage.
Right.
So Speedy, SPDY is an example of that, which you guys are looking at, and you've got Railgun, which is a similar thing. Anything like that in the market, we need to look at and see and make a decision whether we capitalize on that as a competitive advantage.
Right. That's great. Excellent. So Ben, you're big on Twitter. Do you use Twitter a lot?
I do.
Yeah.
When I signed up for Twitter, I could have got @Ben, and I didn't take it. And I think
take it?
I think that's the biggest mistake of my social media.
I thought you were going to say that's my biggest mistake of my life, and I was like,
I wish that was the biggest mistake of my life. Unfortunately, we can't talk about the biggest mistakes of my life on camera.
Okay,
no.
All right, we'll do that after with the beer. Okay, perfect. But so you could have gotten @Ben. So you've been on it for a long time.
Since 2006, when my friend Jack Dorsey was working for this guy at Audio, and I was like, I don't know what that's about. Created this thing, and he was like, oh, you should check it out. And I was like, all right, back in the day.
That's
and now
incredible.
Twitter's,
It's amazing how powerful it can be. And so do you use that a lot for WP Engine? Like, have you seen that it's been key to helping you grow?
Yeah, we use Twitter a lot at WP Engine. I have lots of other things going on, so I don't necessarily use my account specifically for WP Engine.
Yes.
And also I think it's important that the business itself and my employees who look after that get their own following and own reputation.
Yes.
We have a big issue with support via Twitter.
Right, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, because of course if any customer wants support, we want to be able to provide it to them as and when, and if they choose Twitter, but 140 characters is actually a really tricky medium to support someone on.
Yes.
So I would say that we use Twitter to really identify our customers and highlight what's going on in the marketplace. Obviously talk about a little bit about what we're doing, try and provide value as well as just sort of marketing, which I think is important. But definitely trying to encourage people that Twitter is fine to alert us, but we want to sort of move to an email-based support or pick up the phone. Also for privacy reasons. I mean, we don't want to see someone tweeting that their password.
Right, no, definitely not.
Or they've discovered they've uploaded something that they didn't want everyone to see, and then they tweet about it, like thinking it's just us that's going to see it when it's not. So, I mean, these things sound obvious, but you'd be surprised, not necessarily WP Engine customers, but in the wider sense, what people do on Twitter. So,
yeah, of course.
Just trying to help people use the right tool for the right job.
Right, that's great, excellent. So, last question: what's, if someone was watching this and they were like wanting to start a business tomorrow, what advice would you give them?
Wow. You know what? I think one of the things that's very important is make sure that you actually want to start that business. I live in Silicon Valley in San Francisco. It's where you guys live based as well. I see a lot of people who kind of go from business to business and they think, oh, I had this idea at the gym, I'm going to create a fitness app. And then 6 months later, oh, we didn't do that, it wasn't interesting. And I guess it's fine, and you can definitely pivot or try again. But I don't know about you, but I'm really passionate about what we're doing, and you guys seem really passionate about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that passion and you're not really into it, and you want to work 7 days a week, put a lot of commitment into it, it's going to be a waste of your time. And what's worse, if you get customers or users relying on you, and then you say, oh, I don't want to do it anymore, So I think you've got to be really dedicated and passionate and really find that internally before you take it to the next level.
Excellent. Well, Ben, it was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.